What's up, gang? Aramu Smog here from WordPress. Today we'll be building a WordPress blog, Gatsby JS, that's a static site generator, and also the front end of the application. Some 2 years ago, I attempted to make this same tutorial, but just for some reason, it failed woefully. But now here I am back again, like after 2 years trying to do this. And this is going to be straight to the point because I've been sure to test things well before I actually went ahead to start recording or doing this live stream, right? So there is a little outline on how we are going to approach this topic. We are going to set up our WordPress, and we are going to source content from WordPress into Gatsby. We'll do a little overview of GraphQL, then we are going to create a static page using Gatsby, then we are going to create a dynamic static page, then we are going to put the content from our WordPress, that's coming from our WordPress, we are going to put it to the dynamic page, and we are going to show things like featured image, content itself, then we are going to show content on the home page that's going to link to the dynamically created pages. So to make this happen, of course, the first thing that you need is a WordPress installation or WordPress instance. I used a shell hosting platform to set up the current WordPress installation that I am using. So you can use something that is inexpensive like this, right? Just to wire up something. This is for WordPress and is actually linked to other pieces of tech, right? So the first thing that you need to do is install two plugins that to make this work. So if you come over to plugins, I'm going to take a minute. Also, let me have time to volume of this music. Okay, cool stuff. So you need to add two new plugins. Click on add new. Just give it a minute. Then you need to search for WP Gatsby. Of course, you want to work with Gatsby and WordPress, so that's I think that's predictable enough. Then you have WP Gatsby. Right, then you have it currently being active. You just need to install this if you don't have it installed already. Then the next thing you need to install is WP GraphQL, right? WP GraphQL. That's not showing. Okay, yeah, so here it is. But there is a little problem with working with WP GraphQL is that if you install the latest version of WP GraphQL, it's going to throw an error, right? So if you look at the description of this live stream, there's actually a link that I have added. If you check, it says use this version of WP GraphQL. So simply download this plugin, then come over to add plugins, click on upload plugin, choose file, then it's going to pop up. So I'm just going to search for WP GraphQL. Just click on this zip file, click on open, and click on install now. I have it installed already, but I'll just go through this process for the sake of those who are on the stream and I probably don't have a lot of experience working with WordPress and are working with WordPress. So I'm going to click install now. Like I mentioned, I'm using a very cheap WordPress hosting, so things are definitely going to be slow. So it says it shows me all of this information. I'm just going to do replace current with uploaded. So that means I don't want to use the one that I've uploaded. I'm fine with the current installation of WP GraphQL that I have. That's going to take a minute, not up to a minute. It's going to take a few seconds, and we will get into setting things up properly. If you are on this stream, please just drop an hello, drop an I. Can you let me know what your expectations are and things that you probably would want me to cover in this stream, so that I will kind of have that in mind as I go through the stream, right? So, blah, blah, blah. I'm not interested in all of these. The next thing you want to do is come over to GraphQL over here and click on settings. Then it's going to tell you that you have a GraphQL endpoint. So this GraphQL endpoint is what you would eat in order to get your data. So just think of it like as a REST API, right? If you have an API, say api.google.com, right? You can make a fetch request to that API and get some data. The same thing actually happens when you are working with GraphQL as well. The only difference now is I'm going to copy this guy, right? I'm going to copy this guy and I'm going to bring it into my Gatsby JS code base, right? And in order to be able to use this endpoint, let me remove this guy. That was only needed for the intro. Let me remove this dude. In order to be able to use this endpoint, you need to install a package. Oh shit, you can barely see the what do you call it, terminal, right? Okay, so you need to be able to install a package called I'm just going to put it in the browser, called Gatsby plus WordPress. And to install that, just do yarn add Gatsby plus WordPress, and you'll be fine, right? But I have it installed already, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the plugin. And to use the plugin, you can just come to your Gatsby config.js, then just come over here and under the plugins array, I almost made a mistake of putting it outside. I'm just going to come over here and say, comma, I'm going to resolve Gatsby solves WordPress, right? And and I need to pass an options key here. Options, and one of the key that I need to pass here is URL, and I'm going to get it. So the URL, I could just come in here and paste this, but you definitely don't want to do that, right? You can do this because in the end, this is kind of public, it's kind of bundled with your front end anyways, right? But I would prefer, especially if you have different endpoints set up for, let's say, your staging server and your production server. So you want to put this in your environment variable. So all I'm going to do is just come to example.env. I'm going to come to the example.env, then I'm just going to paste this in here. I'm not opening up my env for obvious reasons, right? So that people don't get my public key for Paystack and Basket, which is the payment platform that we are using on this website, right? So I only need to come back into my Gatsby config. Then I'm going to say URL is process.env.wordpress source URL, set it up, and now I can come over here now. I'm just going to do Command C and run Gatsby develop. So let's see what that gives us. It shouldn't give us much right now at the moment. Let me do this to adjust the preview, just to be sure that you can see what's going on there. Okay, so it's doing some stuff here. It's clearing my cache. It says, you can see now that this is sourcing data from Gatsby. Now you can see pages, you can see posts, you can see tags and all of that, right? Yeah. So that's that is Gatsby trying to get the data from WordPress now. Then it's going to take some time to download the images as well. And when it is done, you can go to your browser, run localhost. Oh, shit. That was a mistake. Run localhost 8000, and you have your website, right? But there is an additional thing that you need to do along with your website. So right now, we've been able to source data from WordPress into Gatsby. Like, it's that easy. We've been able to source data from WordPress into Gatsby, but there is no way for us to see or preview this yet. And in order to be able to do that, you just need to do / __ GraphQL, and it's going to show you this playground where you can check or query for data from your WordPress backend, right? And to do that, I'm going to close this guy out. No, Explorer. Yep. I'm just going to collapse all of this guy. I've obviously done some work ahead of this trip just to ensure that I don't blab about things that I don't know about. So I'm going to click on all WP posts. That represents all the posts that is on our WordPress server, right? Then I'm going to click on nodes. Then I'm just going to click on title. I'm going to select the title. Click on play. And you see now, we have all our data. It is nodes, and you have the title being Tobi Otokite, the product manager, raising giants. If I come back to WordPress and I click on post, it almost feels like magic. It almost feels like magic, but it's not magic. And you have this post in here. If I come over here and I add a new post, and let's say I'm just going to say I probably should not be trying to create some live data here because it's going to take some time. So let me just say from dropout to building world class product, right? I'm going to set a featured image here. That's just the image that will be our preview. I'm just going to use this same image over here, right? Then in terms of categories, I'm not doing anything much. The other thing I would like to change is the slug for this, but it's not showing up. Okay, URL, yeah. Oh shit, this is messed up. But I won't bother myself too much about this for now. We'll fix it up later. So I'm just going to click on publish, right? Once I publish this guy, if you're just joining the stream, please drop an hello. You can go back in time to see what I've done so far. Right now, I'm synchronizing the data inside of WordPress with Gatsby. So this is my Gatsby playground locally, and I'm just going to run play. And you see that we now have two contents inside of here. This is just like the way you would do a normal API call. The only difference is now is that it's GraphQL that is handling this API call for you. So we have the title, then we have from dropout to building world-class product. And literally we are done, like 50% of the job is done, right? The next thing we need to do right now is we need to look for a way to create the pages for each of these articles or each of these stories, right? And that's why Gatsby is called a static site generator. And to do that, we have to do that inside of Gatsby node, right? And you can literally just search Gatsby node, and it's going to give you a boilerplate of the way this works, but I'm going to just talk through so that probably like it makes more sense. So you just need to do exports dot create pages. This will be an async function. Right? And you would be able to a lot of these things actually work behind the scene, obviously, right? Gatsby has bundled some of these methods outside, like behind the scene for you to work with, and you can have access to GraphQL here because everything with respect to everything with respect to Gatsby actually works with GraphQL, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why people hated Gatsby, because you are forced to use GraphQL for almost every single thing. If you want to hear my thoughts about Gatsby and their recent acquisition, there's a video on this channel for that. I think it's a live stream as well. Please do well to check that out. Then we have GraphQL and we have actions, right? Now, at the moment, the way you get the pages that are currently on this website are the pages that you have under your, if you come over to your source pages, you have your about us, donate, index, the overview, waitlist, and the 404.js. So let's say I want to dynamically create a page for, let's say, this person's story or this person's article. The first thing I need to do is I need to first be able to create static page for one person before I'm able to create for multiple people. I think that's one of the things that you should take note, like programmers and stuff, right? Don't just go ahead and start to build a solution that scale. Build for a use case first, then you can build it for a use case that scale down the line. So I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to, from the actions here, I can destructure create page, right? I'm just going to say actions, right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do create page. And create page is going to accept a bunch of parameters, right? The first thing is the path. What do you want the path of the new page that you are creating to be like? Hi, Abdurrahman Oladimiji. Thank you so much for joining this stream. Let me know if you are finding value in this stream so far. It makes sense. This is going to be a very long stream. Okay, let's continue. So yeah, so I'm just going to say /story/Toby photo PT, right? Then the next thing that you want to do, you want to pass here is a component. What component do you want to render when this page is created, right? So I'm just going to come over here and say const blog post because app.resolve, right? And I'm just going to do the source. Then I have a templates folder. Then I'm going to say stories, right? Then /stories.jsx. I kind of know that I'm going to put a component in there, right? Then I'm just going to say this is blog post. This has to be a comma because obviously it's an object. So if I look for stories.jsx, I've actually done some work inside of this, but I'm going to clean every damn thing. Just to say, just so that you don't say that I'm one of those YouTubers that just like copies and paste code, right? So I'm going to do import React from React, right? Then I'm going to say on story because this guy. Then I'm going to say return the story, right? Then I'm going to do export export to default, story, save it up, and that's that for that. Now, if I come over here now, I expect that from Gatsby node that I've created a new page, which the path, there shouldn't be forward slash here, which the path says story/Toby or Tokiti, that if I come over to localhost 8000 /story/Toby Tokiti, that I should have a page, but it currently says a 404. And that's because when I was initially running the server, this Gatsby node did not run, so that page was not created. So to solve that problem, all I need to do is just stop my server and do Gatsby develop again. It's going to take, let's say, a couple of seconds for this to run, but we should be fine in a minute. If you're on this stream, please just drop some questions, drop your thoughts. What do you think so far? And let's just have some fun. Nothing so serious. Ask questions and stuff. Ask questions. Ask me questions. Bombard me with questions there. Bombard me with questions. Oh yeah. Okay. So Gatsby node is still resolving. 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 Okay, yeah. And it is done building or bundling or whatever it is that I did. Then if I click on this again, and you see now that we have story being a page on this website. So the next thing I need to do now is I want to quickly do some cleanups here, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the layout of the website here. So I'm just going to say layout, right? Save it up, and I'm just going to say the story. Cool stuff. And we have the layout of the website. I don't know why this guy is acting funny, but I will look into that later. So we have the layout of the website. We have a new page for Toby or Tokiti, right? And we can render something in here, right? If I come over to the GraphQL playground, one of the things I want to check is what does the URL of this original blog post, what does it look like? So I'm going to come over and look for slug, then run this query again. It says here from Dropout to building what class product. I'm totally fine with that. I guess because I modify an existing post, that's why the slug for this looks this way, right? So the next thing I want to do right now is I want to create. So right now you see that we have a page for Toby or Tokiti, but we don't have a page for for this other person or for this other story. So to be able to do that, all I need to do is I need to query GraphQL and get all this data from GraphQL, right? I'm just going to come over here and say all stories, right, equals await. We're going to return a promise. Then GraphQL that is being given to us here, GraphQL, right? Then I'm just going to come over here, copy everything here. I'm going to paste it in there, right? Query. Alrighty. So one of the first things I can do here before I even try to create a page for all of these guys is to log all the stories. Console.log all stories, save it up. Then Gatsby develop. One person is on this call. I think I know who that person is. I think I know who that person is. Am I right? The person. Am I right? Gatsby develop. I expect a console log in the terminal. We're downloading remote files. So it says there was an error. It says body must be a string, query, nodes, WP title. Interesting. That looks so strange. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap this in. Going to wrap this. So it's a function. So I'm going to do Gatsby develop. Hi Abdurrahman. Did you have any questions? Is this looking like magic? Is this looking like something that does not even make sense? Ikechukwu, how are you doing this evening? Ikechukwu is superstar designer at WebBoss, by the way. Thanks for joining this session. Okay, so I'm trying to do So yeah, let's see the console log. So there should be a console log now. There should be a log in the terminal for all of this information. It says could not find image. That's not my focus right now. Okay, yeah, you can see now. When I logged all stories, we have this guy now. It says data. We have OWP post. Then we have the notes. We have the array. That's not really our concern right now. The major thing right now is that we're able to get all stories from the we're able to get all stories from from WordPress. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to look through each of the stories, right? I'm going to say all stories dot data. If you look at the format in which GraphQL returns data to you, when you run this query, then it gives you an object. Then the first key is data, then OWP nodes, then you have OWP post, then you have nodes. Then the nodes is an array which you can then do a for each loop or map through to create your pages, right? So I'm going to do all stories dot data dot so I can just come over here. So data dot OWP nodes dot nodes. Keep saying OWP nodes dot for each, right? Then I'm just going to say story node. I almost said node. Interesting, right? Then I'm going to create a page based off of these guys, right? Now I have the slug of each of the posts, right? So I can come over here and say font slug for my title, right? Title equals story node. Then I'm going to come over here and say /story /slug. Save it up. Right, then I have to run the server again. I think that's the bad thing. Okay, yeah. So it seems the server would restart by itself, but many times it just doesn't. So I just prefer to just do Gatsby develop. Okay, what did it say? It says Fabulous flag. Let me just do Gatsby develop. Okay, yeah, Gatsby develop. Press enter and let's run that. So we should have 2 pages generated for us now. And if we increase the the number of items inside of WordPress is going to increase the number of items inside of our Gatsby frontend as well, right? I'm trying to share this from my Instagram. Trying to share this on Instagram, we have to promote these things. Cool stuff. So it means that now, so I'm going to try and refresh this page again. It should throw a 404 error. You see, it throws a 404 error, and you see we now have 2 new pages here. It says story / from dropouts to building WordPress product /story / hello world, right? So if I click on any of these guys, it shows me the templates that we've created. This image is looking weird. I'm beginning to feel uncomfortable with it. So I think this will be a right time to start to look into debugging. Or could it be, could it be the laptop screen or something, or my monitor screen or something? I'll fix that later. So you see that we now have, oh, thank you, Abraham. It says nice to see, nice to have you on stream. Let me just put the comment up. Says it's nice to have you on stream. Let's wait and see how it goes. We won't fret, no magic anywhere. Yeah, that's the energy. I like that kind of energy. Nothing, no shaking, that kind of thing. Cool stuff. Yep. So right now we know that we're able to dynamically create pages, but it's not enough to just dynamically create pages. We need to put content into those pages, right? And that takes us to the next phase of the project. So I have my stories.jsx, which basically is just your regular JSX file, right? And what I need to do is to run a page query, right? So I'm going to come over here and say const page query equals GraphQL, get the GraphQL from Gatsby, then we are going to run the query. Now, there's a tiny little problem. And the problem is that right now, if you run a query, so let me go back to the GraphQL diagram, right? You see that we have, let me zoom in a bit. I think zooming in a bit might be beneficial. So we have all WP posts, right? Then if you scroll down, we have WP posts. WP post refers to a single post that is coming from WordPress, while WP post refers to all the posts that you have put on WordPress, right? And in order to get a post, you need some form of criteria in order to be able to get a post. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. So, for example, I've run a bunch of queries here. Actually, I've cleaned this up before the show. Sorry about that. So, I'm just going to close all of these guys. I'm going to close all of these guys out, right? And good. So when you click on WP post, you see that you have a bunch of fields with a drop down below them. But when you click on all WP posts, all you just see is the filter sort, and you see that the color is kind of different. This is purple, and white these ones are blue. This purple, you can think of them as filters or criteria or conditions to select a post or to select content from the backend, right? So if I come over to WP post, I can then query a post based on slug. So if I come over here and say slug, right? If let me remove all of this so that it's not so confusing. Let me remove all of this. Right. Then I can say if the slug is equals to, let's say, hello world, we want to get all the content for that particular post, right? I'm going to remove this query as well. So I'm just going to collapse this guy out, right? Hello world. Then we want to get that particular post. If I click on this guy, it should get the title for hello world, right? It gets the content for hello world. I can get the slug as well, just so that we are sure. So you see, we have the slug, we have the title for this particular item, right? So what we need to do is that right now, there is no way for a specific page or the page that we are running to know the particular article that we want to query or that we want to get, right? The way to solve that is we need to come into our create page inside of Gatsby node here and add what is known as a context. And a context is, it says, so a question here says, with the knowledge of React, will it be easy for someone to dive into Gatsby and being a SSG? It will be easier to learn, right? So the answer is yes, right? If you have some knowledge of React, and there is an existing Gatsby code base or a Next.js code base, because Next.js and Gatsby, they both do static site generation, right? You'll be able to dive right in. But in terms of configuration, I would advise that you take some time out to watch maybe some crash course on how to like configure the framework before you dive into it. I don't know if Graham's saying. So your knowledge of React, for example, we've been building this project over the couple of like 2 months now, and most of the things that we've been doing is React components. By the time you begin to dive into things like Gatsby node, Gatsby config, and all of those things, you need to understand the way Gatsby handles those things. So either you read the documentation or you watch some form of crash course on it, right? I watched the crash course, I think late 2020 on Gatsby, right? So yeah, so I think watching a crash course or probably like reading documentation will be very beneficial. But it is the React that you know and love. The only thing is just there are new things that are layered on top that Gatsby handles for you out of the box. So for example, something like routing, you don't need React router. You have to like do your routing. Once you create a page under your source folder pages and you create a page here, it automatically becomes a page. You need to care about routing and all of that, right? So that's like the advantage of using something like this, right? I hope that does answer your question. If it doesn't, I can keep responding to that another shot. So yeah, so let's get back to it. So you have your create page here, right? But there is no way for this page to know exactly what you want to get, right? So what you're going to do is add a new key here and call it context, right? And context is just variables that you can use to query your data from, that you can use to filter, that you can use to filter or niche down your data, right, into the particular content that you want. So for example now, hello world. Yeah, you're welcome, Abdurrahman. So what I want to use to query all of the blog posts is the slug, because slug is usually unique, especially for things like blogs, right? So I'm going to click on context, then slug, save it off, but that is just like half of our problem, right? Because right now we need to restart our server. I think that's the most frustrating part of all of this. But once you are done setting up your server, I don't think we would have to set up or reload the server after this. This is the last time we will be stopping the server and pressing Gatsby develop. Okay, so let's just give it a few seconds. Let's just give it a few seconds. I'm trying to get a link to the stream so I can share on Instagram and maybe Twitter as well. If you know anyone that might find this helpful, share with them so that they can join the stream, especially if you think you are getting value from the stream, right? And even if it's not, if anyone has any questions about like programming in general and all of those things, right, you can ask them to join this stream and come and ask their questions. It does not have to be about Gatsby and static site generation, right? In the end, this channel is called Web Boss. We are supposed to help you gain clarity on your tech journey. Think of us as your digital big brother or digital bad bro, that kind of thing. Makes sense. So let's get back to it. So now, we've been able to pass the context into this page now. The next thing we can begin to do is now create a query. And I'm going to, in fact, just copy and paste this query. I'm just going to say, this guy, WP post, then you have to export. That's the Gatsby syntax for it, right? Then you can come over here and catch the data. See, this is just boilerplate. You don't even need to like worry yourself about like the way things work behind the scene. Like this is just the way Gatsby says you should do it, right? Then I can come over here now and say console.log data. I remember you, Remy. I remember you very, very well. What happened now? I was on ADP list that particular day, but you couldn't make it. And I tried messaging you, but I guess you could not respond as well. How have you been? It's nice to have you back on this session. If you have any questions, actually, if they are not too personal or intimate, you can actually like ask them on this stream, and I will try my best to give responses to them while I try to code on the side as well. So I expect that what do you call it? Hello world. So it says on undo, it appears like Gatsby is misconfigured as well. I was supposed to be blah, blah, blah. All right. So I think I kind of know what's going on, right? So I need to define something here. I need to define a query at the top of this, right? I need to define a query at the top of this, and this query needs a variable called slug, right? And the data type for this slug will be a string. So if I save this up now, I think that should solve the problem. Let me refresh this too. Still not solving the problem. Query string WP post. Let me just say story query, right? Where this is supposed to work here. Context log. Okay, I guess let me just do the ideal thing that we're supposed to slug. Then let me refresh this guy. I wasn't expecting a bug like this. Oh, sorry about the illness. But one thing though is you can always book another session on ADP list, right? And I think you should do that today. I think I have a slot. I have 2 slots free ahead of tomorrow because I'm actually taking a break from ADP list from next week. So yeah, so I think that would be like my advice, like right now. If you feel like you still need that session though, that would be my advice. /story/ from profiles. So it says, so what's the problem here? So let me just check page query Gatsby. I'm surprised that that is actually happening. So it says this guy this is taking forever. Page query, right? Then you need to MDX. Now this is not what I'm looking for. Yeah, so that's it, right? Import GraphQL from this guy. So except this context is not getting down. So let me take a step back and let's see. Page query equals GraphQL. Let me make sure that I'm using the correct syntax. Yeah, that was the problem. This should be a template literal. Take it up and let's see what that gives us here. Okay, this page doesn't exist. So okay, yeah, and it works now. So it was a syntax error. Cool stuff. So if I come over here and I do console.log of data, let's see what that gives us. You see now that we have WP posts, right? And WP post contains slug and title. right? So I can come over here and just say const WP post, or let me see again. We have data. We have WP post from data, right? Cool stuff. So I could come over here and just destructure the title and the slug from WP post, right? From data.wp post. Yep. Save it up, and let me just come over here and bring in our text component. This is actually a custom component, by the way. Right, variant equals h3, then the value equals title. Save it up, and let's go back here. Boom, and it says from dropout to building what class product. If I intentionally create a 404 page and I come over to Hello World, it says Toby Toki to the product manager raising giants. Amazing, right? Yep. And we are getting there. So the next thing I want to do is to get the content of this particular blog post. So I can come over here and say content. Then I'm going to wrap this in a container. Oh no, that's the wrong container. I want the container component that I have created. Container, bring this in here. Then I'm going to wrap it in a div, and I'm going to say content. Save it up, and boom, we have all of this. But this is obvious, right? There is an obvious error or problem with this, in that this is just pouring out raw text. Whereas you can see that there are HTML tags here. Let me zoom in here. You can see that this is an H2. You can see that this is a break, and all of that. And how do you undo something like that? It's actually easier than it looks. That's the amazing thing. All you have to do is just come over here to the div. I will not be using, okay, so I will come over here and define this guy as an article, right? Just for semantics, right? And for SEO reasons, HTML5, so that nobody arrests me, right? I'm going to say dangerously set in HTML, then I'm going to set this key to the HTML, then the value will be content, right? Then I'm going to come over here and make it a self-closing tag, save it up, and you see, now we have this guy properly formatted. How amazing is that? Cool stuff. So the next thing I want to do is want to get the image, right? Want to get the preview image for each of the blog posts, right? And the way to do that is we need to come back to GraphQL, right? You don't need to cram all the fields and all of that, right? Just come to GraphQL. Then you look for featured image, right? Then you look for local file. Let me just local file. Then you look for child image chap. Then click on Gatsby image data. Then I'm going to set a bunch of properties on this, right? The first thing is the quality. I want to make sure that the quality is 100, right? I want to ensure that the blurred options, that is when the file is still loading, right? I want it to be blurred, right? That will be placeholder rather. I want it to be blurred, right? And I'm going to bring this guy here, featured image, copy it, and I'm going to paste it in here. See? Then I'm going to come over here and say featured image. Then to show this image, of course, this is inside an article now, so that means I can define an header here now. Then I can bring this guy up here. Then I can come here now and say Gatsby image, right? And say that the image equals featured image, right? Dot local file. Okay, yeah. So let me come over here so that I can just copy and paste. Dot node dot local file dot child image sharp dot Gatsby image data zip, save it up, and let's see what that gives us. Either breaks or it works, right? Worst case scenario is it's going to break. Oh, okay. I'm going to share the link. Just give me a sec. Let's just quickly finish this off. Hey, why? One of the regulars on here. How you doing? Good evening. How you doing today? What's popping? Like my CEO would say. Okay, cool stuff. I see we have the image here, right? There's one thing that I would like us to quickly do though, which is I want us to add a title. So if you check here now, it's saying localhost 8000/story/hello world. I want to give a human readable title to that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here layout and say title equals title, right? And that should switch things up. And see now, Tobi Otokiti, the product manager, raising giants, and we can decide to even ignore the site name in this case, right? Because we only want to see the title. So we can ignore site name, save it up, and you see, yeah. So now we have Tobi Otokiti, the product manager, raising giants. How amazing is that? Yeah, but I have a little tiny issue. Oh, fuck! I just remember that right now I've done a lot of design implementation without even showing you guys the design, and that's just because I've seen the design before now, and I just wanted to focus on the functionality, on how to do the SSG and all of those things, right? We are still going to take a look at the design, but I'm just going to do like a little bit of modification right now. So all of this data right now is being served from WordPress. How amazing is that? Cool stuff. So I'm going to come here now and over to the static image. Okay, yeah, I look forward to that. Hi, Odeji. Thank you so much for joining up. So I'm going to come over here and say, I'm going to make a modification in the GraphQL playground, right? And I'm going to set the height of 695. I know this value because I've tried to implement this before the stream, obviously, yeah. Then I can then copy this guy, take it to my GraphQL query. This looks simple, or it may look like magic, but it's not as hard as it looks, I promise. Then, good. Right, then I want to add a layout to it as well and make the layout a full width. So just come over here, layout, fixed, full width, right? Then just bring that guy here, copy it. You don't need to cram it. That's why technology was created. Copy it, then full width, layout, full width. Save it up, and let's see what we have now. Cool stuff. But there's a major problem in that it is now reaching the full width, but I love that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this guy. Save it up. Then I'm going to come over to the Gatsby image. I'm going to say class name. Of course, TailwindCSS here. I'm going to say whale full. And now it's crossed the image. How amazing is that? Nice. Then the next thing I want to do, so I think this might be time for me to start loading up the design so that you can see what I'm doing visually. But I really wanted to just focus on functionality before we do like a lot of design, because I think that was a mistake I made some 2 years ago when I tried recording this tutorial. So what I did was I spent about 2 Sundays actually doing UI implementation, and I could not come around to show people how to actually create a headless WordPress website using Gatsby.js. That's so disappointing, right? But then we move. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I see that there are 4 people now, 2 people on this live stream. Oh, why did you guys run away? Interesting, but nevertheless, we move. So let me show you the MVP design. Aha, good. So this is what the design looks like. You have the title on here. You have this preview image on here. You have these share buttons on here. And by the way, we are going to implement all of these things today, tonight, or whatsoever it is. So you are in for a ride. I'm thinking about maybe 3 to 4 hours for this stream. Let's see how far we can go. So we have this image, right? Then I can click on this frame. Then you can see that the border radius is 125 pixels. Obviously, I'm not going to use border radius of 125 pixels because that would just be too large. So I'm going to say rounded, and I'm just going to do 100 pixels. I hope my designer doesn't sue me. Where is this guy? Where are you at? Other pieces of tech. All right, cool stuff. Oh, nice. Can you see now? This is looking so nice and amazing and interesting, right? Then okay, so we have the title. Then I think let me just do some styling, right? And we'll do some functionality in a bit too. So I'm just going to do margin bottom. I'm just going to do MY. I'm just going to do 90 pixels, right? And we'll get back to coding some more functionalities. So I think that will be all I'll be doing over here for now, right? Another thing that I actually quickly want to do is styling. I want to apply some styling to this content, because if you check the design, you would see that the font that is being used here is actually General Sans, while the font that is being used here is Clash Display. So all headings actually have Clash Display, while body text has General Sans. So the way I do this, or the way I've done this in the past, is I'll just come over here and say class name and say article. right? Or I could, yeah, I'm just going to come over here and say, let me just put it in here, right? I'm just going to come over here and say class name equals article, right? Then I will go to the generic. I think I can close this guy off right now. I don't need a split screen right now. Then I'm going to come over to, I can increase this guy. Then I can come over to styles, then TailwindCSS, right? Then I'm just going to come over here, making sure that I am still under the layer base, cool stuff. Then I'm going to come over here and say dot article, right? Then I can do at apply fonts sans, right? And let's see what that's going to give us over here. You can see that all the fonts has now be changed to sans. So now I can do dot article, right? Dot article h1 dot article h1 dot article h2 dot article h3, right? I'm just going to stop there for now, comma. There's a cleaner way to do this, right? Well, I'm not thinking about the cleanest way to do this right now. I'm just thinking of the way to do this. Then I'm going to say at apply font serif, right? Now, okay, I need to be sure. So let me check my config, Gatsby config, font. Do we call it font serif? What do we? No, it's not Gatsby config. It's tailwind.config.js. Font primary. It should be primary, not that. So tailwind. So it should be font. This should be font secondary. Then this should be font primary, right? And you can see that there is a difference now. Of course, I can then begin to style the h1 dot article h1 and say this guy. I need to inspect what these headings are. So if I come over here and I inspect, I need to inspect what these headings are. So this is an h2, right? So I may not even need an h1 per se, right? So I can come over here and say dot h2, right? And just say at apply font at apply font. I need to go into my text component to see what we are using for h2s, and many a times there can actually be difference between the headings. So I'm just going to go back to the design. Please always go back to your design so that your designers don't show you 36 pixels, right? So I'm just going to do font 36 pixels. 36 pixels. I hope this works. So it says unrecognized, blah blah blah. So apparently it seems like I can't use this format here. What's happening? Font size. Okay, let me check the text component. Let me see how we do text. Font sizes. Okay, it should be text. Oh, I see. Sorry about that. Sorry, my lord. TailwindCSS. So it should be text. 36 pixels. Okay, then there's a problem. It should be text. 36 pixels. All right, and it works now. How amazing is that? Cool stuff, right? So of course, right now we need to add some margin to the top because this seems to be touching the things above it. So I'm just going to do at apply, right? Empty 2 or 3. Let's do 4. And let's see what that gives us. I think this looks a bit balanced. I'm just going to make it 6 actually. Then I'm going to move on from there. Cool stuff. We are nearly almost done with this layout design. But there's something I want us to work on, right? Which is right now, we have all these images, right? Or we have all of these things right here on the landing page that are supposed to show preview of stories, right? Inside of, which is when you come here and you see this, when you click on learn more, it's actually supposed to take you to a story like the ones that we've seen before, right? It's supposed to take you to a page like this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here, right? And so it seems something seems to be wrong. These images are not loading correctly, and I wonder why. Is somebody attacking my PC? I think there was something in the console the other time. It said some images could not be found, blah blah blah, and all of those things, right? So I'm just going to check this console quickly, but also I'm going to look into the component. Say it's featured stories, right? It's says featured stories, and the source is .assets/portrait.png. I'm not sure that's something I really want to bother. It says to watch the replay, running out of data. Oh, that's fine. Thank you so much, Abdurrahman, for joining so far. Really, really, really appreciate you stopping by and dropping by. Right. So basically what I need is, so right now we have these featured articles that we've essentially hard-coded into this code base, right? You can see that we have a JSON data here. So for now, I'm just going to make it what do you call it, empty. So this guy is no longer show up. We need this data to come from WordPress, and to be able to do this, right, because this is a component and not a page, we are going to use what is known as static query. And the only difference between it and what we have done before is just that right now it's called static query instead of page query. So I'm just going to say const all so I'll say const most recent stories query equals use static query, right? And that's going to be query. Then all WP posts. So I'm not here to sort myself. I'm just going to come over here to GraphQL. I'm going to come to all WP posts. Then I'm going to, what are the things I need? I need the slug. I need the slug, yeah, so that I can direct them to the right place. Then I need the title. I don't need the content in this case, right? I need the title, I need the slug, then I need the featured image as well, right? So node, basically the same thing that we did the other time. We're going to look for local file, then we're going to look for child image sharp, then Gatsby image data. I think we can go with the default settings that ships out with this, right? So then we need to add some criteria. We want to pick only the first 4 items because as you can see here in the design, according to the design, we are showing only 4 items on this landing page, right? So there's only for us to query the entire data inside of WordPress to show on the landing page. So I'm going to come over to GraphQL, right? Go over to GraphQL, then I'm going to add a criteria here that says limit, and the limit is going to be 4, right? Then I can copy this query now. I can come in here now, copy this query, then paste it in here. Then let's see, I'm going to do a console.log of most recent stories query, and let's see what that gives us. It says throws new error. Static query is called with a string was expected to call using GraphQL. Incoming. It's actually been a while. It's been a minute I've used this guy. Okay. So I'm just going to check use static query. Okay, yeah. So we need to pass GraphQL to it. Okay, that was the missing part. So GraphQL, good stuff. So let's see what that gives us. All right, and we're actually good to go. Let me inspect this guy. Console. So it returns an object. That object contains all WP posts. Then we have the nodes, right? So I can come over here and say const most recent stories, right? Most recent stories equals most recent stories query dot all WP posts dot nodes, right? Then let me do a console log of this guy, save it up, and let's come back here. So yeah, you see that this guy returns an array now, right? And I want to pick the first item out of these most recent stories, right? So I'm going to say const most recent. No, I don't want to use the most recent story again. I'm just to say first item, right, equals most recent stories into bracket 0, right? Then I can come over here now and let's just do a console.log of the first item. Let's do a console.log of the first item, and it gives us the title. Perfect, and the slug. So I'm simply going to come over here and say it gives us and the featured image. Cool stuff. So I'm just going to come over here and replace this static image with Gatsby image, right? Then the featured image, the image now Let me see. Did I have any style on the static image? Oh yeah, I did. So I'm just going to copy. I'm going to cut this, right? Then I'm going to do Gatsby image, right? Looks like everybody ran away. Nice. We'll bring in the cavalry now. Image equals first item dot featured image dot node, right? Dot node dot local file dot child. Is it capital child image? Okay, yeah, it's camel case child image sharp dot Gatsby image data dot Gatsby image data. Let's set that up and let's see what that gives us. Does it show up anything? No, it doesn't. So let me add the styling that we had here and let's see what that gives us. So I of course expected that there should be some grammatical or some error in this, right? So first item dot featured image. So I'm going to dot node dot local file. I'm just going to come over here. As it seems like I'm stressing. Yeah, I'm just going to come over here. Come over here, right, and say, and just copy this guy by hand, right? Featured image. I think there was a mistake even in the spelling of that. Dot node, paste it, local file, child image sharp, paste it, then the Gatsby image data. Looks like somebody's back. Welcome, thank you. Oh, it seems there were a lot of misspellings in that. Oh, nice, fantastic. And now this image is back. So we need to add some constraints to this image, of course, right? So let's go back. So before we do that, we want to show the title, right? So I'm going to say first image, first item dot title, Whoop! Join. So from oh wait, okay, yeah, that's the most recent. Yeah, of course that's the most recent. Then for now I'm just going to drop this guy out. This guy is supposed to be like a summary of some sort. Then the learn more, is it a button? Can it accept a link? Let me see. Do we allow our text? Okay, yeah, it can accept an href, right? So I'm going to say href equals first item. Then we are going to get the slug, right? So this is going to be this code is looking dirty already, right? Then I'm going to say slash story slash first item. Let me query the slug. The slug would most likely be the same. Dot slug, right? Then slug. Okay, yeah. So we have slug as part of that. So let's see what this gives us. Boom, and it is connected. Are you feeling me now? Are we getting somewhere now? Is it making sense now? Okay, yeah. So yeah, boom, cool stuff. So now, so I'm going to do const remaining items equals most recent stories dot slice equals the start number. We want it to be 1. We want to pick the first item, then pick everything to the end, right? Then the remaining items is remaining items will be this guy. Remaining items will be this guy. Remaining items dot map. Then we have the article. No, so there will be a difference. So we don't need the article. So we need article, right? Then I'm going to come over here and let me check that first item again, just to know the best approach for this object, featured, then title, all of that. Okay, cool stuff. Cool stuff. So we have the title, we have the slug, and we have the featured image. So I'm going to come over here and say const title equals title equals article featured image. We have the featured image, right? And we have the slug. Cool stuff, right? Then I'm going to come over here and say that title. Why did this give me an assertion? I'm not writing text, bro. Title, then featured. Okay, I don't want to add the featured image yet, right? But I'm going to come over here and say title, right? Save it up, and let's see what that gives us. Cool stuff. But there is no image yet. It says Toby Otoki is the product manager raising giants. Then we have the link. We have the slug now, right? We have slug being part of what we have in here now, slug, right? So that means I can come over here and say story. I need to make this a template literal. Then I'm going to do slug, right? Then read more. Story / undefined. Okay, I'm guessing that's because we didn't pass this. So I guess I'm actually going to just destructure the article in here. I think that may just be better. I think that's easier. So I don't really have to bother about the data that's coming. So yeah, and it takes me to this article page. Fantastic. There are a couple of things that are missing, things like the image and all of that, right? So we no longer have to use static image. We now have to use Gatsby image because this is now dynamic. So I'm going to do Gatsby image, right? And image equals this guy that we know and love. So I'm going to remove, okay, let me just leave this guy for now. Then I'm going to basically just copy this syntax that we have here, right? The image is now featured image dot node. Then we have to catch the featured image. We have to add a comma there, right? Then we check this now. Okay, yeah. So you see that the image is showing now, but it's tagged on top of this. That's because we have static image. Then I need to copy or cut this class name, paste it. Oh, that's fine. So I don't keep you on this call, let me try and get the ADP list for you, link for you ASAP. ADP list. Let me see if I can help you get the ADP list, right? Because I don't want to hold you hostage. Country is hard, and I don't want you to be on this call against your will just because you want to book a session with me on ADP list. So adplist.org printers / yeah. So I'm going to drop the link in the comment section now. I'm going to drop a link in the comment section right now so that you can have access to it. I'm trying to look for oh, nice. Thanks for joining. It's intense to watch. Yep. I'm trying to, okay. So it looks like this guy was minimized. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I'm dropping the list to the ADP list right now. And yep. And that's it, right? We have our image. We have these two items that are showing up right now, but they are obviously too tall. They are not according to the design. So there are a couple of things that we could do. We could either try to manually adjust the height from our design system here, or we could adjust it from the query, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go the route of the query. And okay, no, I'm not going to go the route of the query, because if I go the route of the query, then it's going to affect the height of all the images, that's including that most recent one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come over to, we don't need this guy again, since we are spreading the article, right? Since we are spreading the article, I need this guy. what do I need? I need I'm looking for the image. Yeah, so I'm just going to make the height of this guy. Let me check the design. The height of this guy is what? It's 416. So I'm going to say height is 416. You're welcome, Remy. 416 pixels. Alrighty, and you can see that on 11th of this month, yeah, that will be Saturday. That will be this coming Saturday. Yeah, that's the next available time. So yeah, height 506 pixels. So I can come over here as well and say that the height is 516 pixels. 516 pixels. Save it up and let's see what that gives us. Let's save it up and let's see what that gives us. And boom, I think the height is actually a bit reasonable now. So from dropout to building WordPress product to build Dokiti, the product manager raising giants. And if we increase the number of items in our WordPress, rather, the items that are going to show up on the landing page here as well is going to increase. So let me just go ahead and do that quickly. And I'm hoping I can use different images as well so that it doesn't appear like the same thing. I want to change this guy from this to the auto kitty updates. I see that it's going to update. When I update this guy, you see that this is trying to get the diff. You can see that it's trying to build changes since last build. It's trying to get the updated data from WordPress. I think that's another advantage of this. So if I come over here now, before this URL used to be hello world, now it is /tobiotokiti. If I refresh this guy now and I come over here and you can see now that it's /story/tobiotokiti. Cool stuff. Our image is broken. Our logo rather is broken. I'm most likely to fix that after the stream. Okay, so what's the next thing that we want to do? I want to add new data inside of here just to be sure that what the things I've claimed so far are actually true. From bringing to customers. Then I'm going to set featured image. I'm just going to look for a random image on my computer. So I have a picture of myself at the very least. Smog. Okay, let me just look through documents, web boss, other places.tech, OFT match, yeah, black and white, Then I'm just going to, since we're talking about a female, let's use a female. Cool stuff. I think I'm actually going to upload a couple more files since this is our testing phase, right? Okay, yeah. Let me use our team members. We have 5 team members on here. You know what I'm talking about. You guys should sign up for our wait list. We should be launching latest by April. If you know anybody in tech, within the tech space, who is a non-technical, who is in tech but they have a non-technical role, say customer success, product manager, product designers that you think we should be talking to, please let us know. We're almost done with this website. All we are waiting for right now, or what the next phase is to actually begin to put content on here. We are having interviews from next month, by the way. So yeah, so if you know anybody who you think we should talk to, please definitely let me know or let us know. You can just drop a suggestion as a comment on this session. You know what I'm talking about. So let me publish this guy. And let's refresh the page now. So this is WordPress, right? But I'm on my local. If I do local host 8,000, it's going to take some time to build. So yeah, so you can see here that it says download. I hope I can zoom in on this. Yeah, you can see here now that it's downloading See, create post, Kelechi, bringing joy to customers. That was a new post that we created. I didn't even have to like run the server again. It automatically does that for us. And you can see now, it shows up. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Alrighty. So, if I refresh this page, then read more, you can see. We need to look for a way to fix up this image. We can't have people's image showing up. Plus, the images that we actually go here, we will be in charge of the photography. So we definitely will be using the right images. Then I need to create just one more blog post as POC, proof of concept, or whatsoever you may call it. So add new post, I'm going to say, just say Simisola, making the world a better place. This world a better place with design. Then I'm going to set featured image. And I'm going to publish that as well. Publish. Just give it a minute. And boom. Boom. So, and you see that this automatically tries to get the data now. I didn't even have to try and make a request to the server or anything. It's fully automatic. During by the time we publish this live, there are settings that will do that. Whenever we make a new blog post, it triggers a build on the server. But during development, you don't need to like trigger new builds, right? Things are just going to like work outside of the box. If you are just joining this stream, it's the first time on the channel, you could consider subscribing and you could go back to understand what has been done so far, because we've actually I have done a bunch of things. There is no we. Okay, if we are on the stream together, it's a we. Okay, yeah, we have done a bunch of things. Cool stuff. So, how many programming languages do I have under my belt? I used to write PHP, right? I did a little bit of Python when I was in uni, just working on like projects for my lecturers. But right now, I mostly write JavaScript. I used to write MATLAB as well because I studied surveying and geoinformatics, and we had to do like a lot of computation, right? So building graphs and all of those things, right? So those are like, in terms of like my story or my history so far, right? That's what I've done so far. Like that's like my history into like programming. I've done a bunch of things, but what I do right now primarily is actually JavaScript. And I'm looking to learn Java or TypeScript or C++. I'm looking to learn a real programming language again, because JavaScript feels like everybody says it's trash, but then it's still the language paying the bills of a lot of people, right? But yeah, I think that's pretty much my story. Okay, my story, or that's pretty much my response to that question. I don't know if it's kind of adds up for you. Yeah. Okay, this is taking a lot of time. I'm guessing because the images are large, so it's taking time to process them. So I'm just going to do Gatsby develop. Perfect. I'm glad it does. So right now, I'm just trying to code all the functionality. Once it's functional, then I can begin to like clean up the styles and all of those things, right? So yeah. So we'll still get to do like more stuff down the line. Okay, watching for changes. I think it should be done by now. Refresh. Look at OS 3000. And you see now we have this data, but there's a problem, right? In that this new article that was created should be the most recent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my GraphQL, right? And under, is this all W peoples? Yeah, these are all W peoples. I'm going to say sort by what I'm going to pick a field to sort with, and it's going to be in descending order. And the field I'm going to pick is the dates. I'm going to pick the dates. dates. Where is dates? Yeah, dates. And let's see. So it should. I'm expecting that it should show the most recent. Yeah. So the most recent should come in first. But you need to study computer science. That will make me better then. So yeah, this is a very interesting question, right? And to be honest, I'm currently kind of in that phase where I studied surveying and geoinformatics, like I said, right? And I'm kind of in that phase where I am thinking of, should I go get a degree in computer science, right? So I think that picking a learning method, you have to look inwards and just say what learning methods or what learning approach works for you as an individual. If you are someone who enjoys being like in a system that has like a curriculum, say from point A to point B, this is like the way you build things, right? You can go back to school, right? But going back to school, spending another 4 years, the things that they will teach you in school, computer sciences, is not the things that you would do on a day-to-day. I don't know if I'm saying right. So to be honest, I feel like if you can get like maybe like online courses, something like Harvard CS50, right? I'm thinking of taking Harvard CS50 by Q2 of this year, right? It's the curriculum. We could look through the curriculum together. Like I said, these streams are not necessarily like for writing code alone. So CS50, let me open up CS50, right? It's like an introductory computer science course, right? It requires a commitment of 10 to 20 hours per week, and it's an 11 weeks long program, right? And it's free. You can decide to pay for the certificate for $149, which is way cheaper than if you are going to uni, right? And the things that they focus on, right, is abstraction, algorithms, data structures, encapsulation, resource management, security, software engineering, and web development, right? And it includes languages like C, Python, SQL, and JavaScript, plus HTML, CSS, and all of that, right? So I feel like if you have a course like this, right, that is able to like break things down, I feel like it is sufficient enough to start for software developers who are self-taught. Then you might now consider getting like a master's degree, maybe in like computer science, right? Instead of just going to school and going to spend like another 4 years trying to get a degree in computer science. This is currently the route that I am looking to fill in my gap for the fundamentals of computer science that I think might be missing from my journey, right? And I feel like it could be helpful for you as well, right? So just let me know your thoughts. I know this thing is going to lag, so you probably like hear this later, right? So I'm back to building this stuff. So yeah, so now you see that we have this guy now as the most recent article that pops up, right? Then the other thing that we need is I've forgotten what it is called, but we need some form of summary. We need a kind of summary for the text, right? We need an excerpt. Yeah, it's called an excerpt, right? So for now, I'm just going to say this is a super dummy excerpt that I am experimenting with. Then updates. Cool stuff, right? Then I need to add excerpts to the other ones as well. I think I should have copied this guy. Let me see if I can still copy it. I'm not sure if I was able to copy it. Is there room for excerpts? No room for excerpts. Okay. Seems like I have to do it the hard way. And okay, that was the last one I edited. So yeah, edits. So we need to do. From my estimation, it seems preference is given to people with certification. I mean, a computer science. Okay, I actually disagree with that, right? I don't think preference is given with people. I don't think preference is given to people with a computer science degree. Preference in this field in tech is given to people who know their shit, and that's just the truth, right? Most of my co-workers, only a couple of them actually study computer science, right? And I don't think it's a preference, right? It's just what can you do? If they ask you a question about algorithm, bubble sort, are you able to answer it? Either you learned it in a classroom or you learned it in on front-end masters, right? The person who wants to hire you honestly really doesn't care. What they care about is, are you able to do these things, right? Which is why when you apply for tech roles, especially dev roles, one of the things they give is a technical assessment. They want to see, are you able to build stuff? If you're able to build stuff, then they go ahead and meet with you and say, how much do you really know about this stuff? Right. Now, there can be an unfair advantage for people who study computer science because they understand the theory more, right? But I feel like if you're able to, but I feel like if you're able to convince someone that you actually know this shit, that's what they really care about. I'm not sure all the job interviews that I've applied to, anybody ever asked me, what degree do you have? Like, it's even after I've gotten the job that they ask me, what degree do you have? And I tell them surveying and geomatics. And I'm like, oh wow, interesting. I don't even know what I'm saying. So, which is why I said that you need to know what learning method works for you. Are you able to learn on your own, or do you prefer learning in a structured system where there is curriculum? If you prefer learning in a structured system where there's curriculum and all of that, please go ahead and go back to school and earn your degree in computer science. It's going to be beneficial to you. If you are someone like me who knows that you can put structure to, not like I have shit figured out anyways, right? But if you are someone that you're able to put structure into like your learning, right? So for example, like before this stream, I had like about 4, like I'm currently trying to upskill for one of the things that I do at work, which is like React Native. I have the course that I've bought on Udemy, right? And one of the things that I do is like try to dedicate like an hour during the weekend. I dedicate more hours during the weekends, right? And after that, I have to prepare for this stream. And now I'm currently on this stream. And so like I am able to do that, right? If I'm in a structured environment where I am going to school, right? I need to do an assignment and all of that, right? I probably will not be able to do all of these other things that I'm doing, right? So it really boils down to you as an individual. What you see, what you think has worked for you over time is like should be your final choice. And I hope that makes sense, right? I wanted to search for Lauren Wilson. Okay. I kind of knew this stream was going to be a long one. Even though I don't know there will be questions, but today's the day I plan to finish this website. I don't know how. But I'm going to finish this website today. So I just need some letters, not a lot. Yeah, exactly. It is a long update. It seems there's another person on the stream. Introduce yourself, stranger. Maybe if you're not a stranger, introduce yourself nevertheless. Oh, did I update? I hope I did. Then from dropout, I think I'll just open instances for these guys just so that I can quickly copy, paste, and update. Paste, update. No, it's totally fine. I enjoy doing this, by the way. I don't see this as a problem. Low key, right? Okay, let the cat out of the bag. This stream is actually one of the ways I'm using to build my confidence for public speaking, right? So right now, if I can talk to 2 people on a stream, looking at the camera, which seems like a very scary thing for a lot of people to do, it means that if I need to give a conference, let's say later in the year, I wouldn't have a problem because I actually have to prepare for these streams and also think about interacting with people and writing code and not losing like my train of thought and my line of thought. So it's totally fine. So yep. So now, one of the things I want to query for now is the excerpts. So where's the GraphQL? Seems I closed the. Okay, yeah. Excerpt. There it is. Boom. So I can pick the excerpts now and take it here. So feature stories and say excerpts. Save it up and save it up and then save it up. Huh? No. There's another one there. Check up. There's another one. So yeah, excerpts. Sorry, I had to attend to something. But that's not the problem. So now I can come here and say first item dot excerpt. Then let's come back here. All right. Of course, this is what do you call it? This is returning as a string. It should be HTML. So I can come over here and say dangerously. I'm not sure it's going to allow us to do that. Let's see. Dangerously sets in our HTML. Right. Then it should be underscore HTML. Then first item dot excerpt. Let's see. I'm just trying to give this a shot, by the way. It should work, and if it doesn't work, I know, and I think I have a fix for it. Yeah. So I totally saw that coming. I just need to add dangerously set in our HTML as one of the properties for this guy with the feature stories. So this is something that we can expect on right now. So dangerously. Text component, text elements. Okay. I think I would have to spread dangerously set in our HTML, right? Okay, that's not working. So I'm going to say HTML. I'm going to accept HTML instead. I think that would be an easier thing to do. HTML. And set dangerously, what do you call it? Dangerously, okay. I think it might be better if I actually apply it on, let's say, a P tag that is going to give me intelligence out of it. Dangerously set in HTML. So, okay, dangerously set in HTML. So HTML. Content is no, what am I doing? I'm messing this thing up. Oh no, I've messed things up. Oh shit. Yeah. I should be on feature stories. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So HTML is this guy. Right. Then I can come into text and I can dangerously set HTML. I can dangerously set HTML now to be underscore HTML, then the HTML, right? Then I can come back to feature stories and say that HTML equals this guy, and that should work. If it doesn't work, then there's a problem. Text can only set one of children of props.html. So okay, so I have to do. So ensure that it doesn't have any child. Okay, I know what to do. Text, then if there is no HTML, if there's no HTML, then go ahead and render these guys. If there's no HTML, then want to show value or children. I hope it works though. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Okay, so it says, okay. Looks like I have to take another route. So if there's HTML, then we just want to go ahead and just return this guy self-closing tag, right? Then otherwise, we just want to do this guy value, then remove dangerously set in HTML, remove this guy, save it up, and boom, it works. So the other thing I think I may want to do is come over here now and say const text element props, because since basically they have the same props, right? And I don't want to have to repeat when I need to extend these elements, right? So I'm just going to come over and say style, assign that to dynamic style, then class name, assign that to text style. So So what that means is I can now come over here and structure text element props, and come in here and destructure text element props. Alrighty, and it still works. Alright, cool stuff. So Simisola, the making of the blah blah blah, and boom, and we have that stuffed. So we have most of the UI done. This is not working. Why? Is there any reason? Okay, yeah. So the page was still loading. We have this guy. Then read more. It's taking a while. I guess we are loading more stuff now. All right, cool stuff. Right. But I have a problem in that this item right now, these featured stories right now, are kind of bundled to the home page alone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this featured article, right? I'm going to take this featured article and I'm going to take it to our components folder, right? I'm going to call it, so I'm just going to say, I'm going to say featured, or I'm going to call it, I'm going to say article, component article, then I'm going to say preview, right? Then I'm going to call this preview, then I'm going to say article preview.jsx, right? Article preview.jsx. There's this guy in here, import React from React, right? Then I'm going to rename this guy to article preview, right? Then we have all of these things. I think that's all, right? Then we need to import Gatsby image, import Gatsby image from Gatsby plugin image, fill it up, right? Then there will be an index.js here, right? Then there will be an index.js here as well. Okay, there's already an index.js. Okay, good. Then I'm going to just do export all from preview. Export all from preview, right? Then I need to add an index.js here as well. Index.js. Then I'm going to export all from article preview, right? Export all from article preview. Then I can do export book preview, right? Kind of cool with this. Then featured stories now will now be article preview, right? Save it up. Just text and all of those things. So I will just come over here and copy all of these guys, which are things that we need essentially, right? Button and link. So what do we have here? Right arrow icon, feature stories, right arrow icon, button. Don't need the button, so save it up and let's come back in. Let's see, everything still works the way it ought to. Nice. Okay, so now that's just one of the things that we need to do. Featured article, so I can delete this guy now. We no longer need this guy. Then I want to abstract this guy. I want to put it in its own components as well. So so in fact, here's what I want to do. I want to say so article preview, right? Article preview. Then I'm just going to say article lists.jsx, right? Article preview. This is probably a terrible name to call this, right? article preview list.jsx, right? Then I'm going to do const article preview list. The reason I'm doing this is because there are a bunch of other places in this design. Say for example, something like this. Let me see. Say for example, something like this, where we have these more articles here, right? We still need to be able to show these articles, right? And the way we are going to query these articles will most likely be different from the way we are querying the articles on the home page. So that's why I want to create a component that's going to be able to accept a list of articles and render out that list of articles, right? So article preview list, I'm just going to say articles, right? Then I'm going to come to featured stories and just cut out this guy and say articles now, right? And I think that's pretty much everything I need, right? Then I need to import article preview. Import article preview from article preview. Save it up. Then I can do export article preview list, right? Then I can do an export of all article preview list. Then I can come over to the featured stories and say article preview list, right? And I'm just going to pass the articles. Oh, this is articles. It should be articles. Yep. So I need to pass this guy now as articles equals remaining items. Save it up. React must be in scope, so I need to import React from React. Import React from React. Save it up, and that should do it. So if I come back here to this landing page, everything should still work fine. Perfect. So now for these featured stories, I think I'm actually kind of cool with this now. So I think I'm going to say first first item. I think I can work with this for now, to be honest. I think I can work with this for now. I would look for ways to like update things later. This seems to be overflowing to this now. Okay, yeah. So it seems also that in the article preview list now, article preview, we can actually text variant title equals summary. What we have is excerpt, right? So we can do HTML equals excerpt. Save it up and let's see what that gives us. What's happening? Articles are marked, article. Then feature stories, except, yeah. Except. Oh, looks like I spelled it wrongly. Except. Says unhandled, blah blah blah. Okay, let's remove it for now. This text, right? Let's remove it for now. Let's see what happens. So nothing was returned from render. Okay, I get what the problem is now. HTML except article preview list because I didn't return this guy. Such a rookie mistake to make. Alrighty. So yeah. Blah blah blah. These excerpts are probably too long. By the time we launch the main thing, we'll probably look for a way to keep these guys at bay, right? But I think I'm pretty cool with what we have so far. And maybe want to change the CTA for this to read story. What do you call it? Then the featured stories as well. Want to make this guy to be, instead of learn more, want to make it read story. Full stop. All right. Then I need to make a little adjustment to this guy. So this HR Excel top is, it seems like it needs to go to 200 pixels. 200 pixels, because it's already touching this line. Yep. So I think I'm kind of cool with this. I'm kind of cool with this. Restory. Perfect. Then you can come over here and read story. Right? When you click on read story, I think that's we can begin to look for ways to style the read story a little further now. So let's look for a way to style this guy further now. So I want to focus on styling this guy for the next couple of minutes. So okay, so there are some spacing to the top here. I'm trying to figure out what that spacing is. So about 198 pixels, right? Article, stories, perfect. Container, right? So okay, this there isn't so much time that's going to go. So we're just going to make it a PT 198 pixels, which I think is going to be a lot. Which I think is going to be a lot, right? I guess that's much. So I'm going to make it 158 pixels. I'm just going to take 40 pixels off of that. Right. But I think it's looking better than what we had before, if we are being honest. Then we have the metadata, right? So I'm going to create a component here and call it metadata, right? And it's going to contain the date and read time, right? It's going to contain the date and read time. And this is going to be, we're going to return a div here, right? We're going to return a div here. And it's going to be, we have text, right? Then text, value equals, let's say dates, value equals dates, variant equals, it's going to be a P, let's do P16, let's check the font size, P18, do we have P18, right? Then class name equals uppercase, right? Uppercase. I'm just going to do the same thing for the read time as well before we go into the nitty-gritty of styling. Then read time. Cool stuff. Then in the query that we are going to run on the index page, on the featured stories, one of the things we want to get is dates, right? I think there should be a way to format dates, but for now we're just going to get the date, and I'm just going to display its story. Oh no, it is not here. That's a mistake. That would be the stories itself, the query that we run here. One of the things we are going to do here is get date. So I'm going to render the metadata on top of there, metadata, right? And let's get the dates. Dates equals dates, right? And let's see what that gives us. So yeah, of course, expected. So I'm going to go into GraphQL, or GraphQL rather, and I'm going to get the dates. So notes, then dates, local, format string. Yeah, format string. I need to, let's do LL. Let me see what that gives us. Dates, format string, match. Okay, yeah, this works. I think that was according to what was given here. 23 September 2023. Right. I think they use DJS. I think that's the formatting library that is GraphQL sheet really. So I'm going to replace this guy. This, and let's see what that gives us now. March 25, 2023. Amazing. For the read time, there are two options that we can use to handle read time. The read time can come either from WordPress or from React.js, right? But for now, I'm just going to set the read time to 4. Right? We'll look for a way to dynamically handle this later. Read time. That's so we're going to say read time 10 means read, right? Save it up, and all right, cool stuff. So then the next thing we need now is to make this a flex name, or we can make it a grid. Let's just make it a flex, right? Cool stuff. Good boy. Then we can do graph what 40 pixels. All right, cool. But it needs a margin below it, right? That is 34 MB. It's 2 pixels, so MB8. Sounds like MB8. Alrighty, cool stuff. March 24. Now we need information about the author. So I'm going to create a new component here and call it const author, right? And I'm just going to say maybe image, right? So the thing is, we are using WordPress, and WordPress doesn't really allow authors to use a custom image per se. So for now, we are basically or essentially going to use this image for everybody. We don't expect that there is like a wide variety of authors, at least for this MVP that we are starting with, right? But at least we should be able to get the name of the author. So I'm going to come over here and say GraphQL author node. So we have the avatar. What I need is just the name, honestly speaking. What I need is just their name. Author, let's see. What I need right now is just their name. Author name. So I'm going to copy this guy, bring it into our GraphQL query after featured image, then author. So all we need is their name, right? Return div, right? Then we are going to return a static image for now. Static image, which essentially will be that image, static image, right? Then we are going to return a text, right? And the text value is going to be name, right? The text value is going to be name. Then the font size is what? Inspect. The font size is 20 pixels. So we're going to do variant equals P18 because I'm not sure we have 20 as a variant text here. So that guy, a value equals name, right? Then for the image, I need to check this download, show in folder, auto dummy image. Auto dummy image. Right, then let's take that into the code base new finder window. I think let me just bring this across here so you can see what's happening. Documents, web boss, other pieces of tech. You need to go into the source file, go into the assets folder, images, and I'm just going to drop here and say, did it move? No, it didn't. It seems like this image doesn't want to move. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, finally it moves. I'm just going to say avatar PNG. Good stuff. I need to do something quickly. Okay. Cool. Just need to confirm that was still running. So yeah. So we have this guy now. We have the full name. So we can have access to the full name now. So we have source, right? Then let me see. So we're inside of stories template. We should 1, 3, 2. I feel like that should get us out of this source. We are two levels deep into this, right? So we are going to do /assets /images, right? Images /avatar.png, right? So I'm going to come below. Okay, so below the metadata, I'm going to show the author info, right? And how do we? So we're just going to do the author, right? And I think instead of name, what we want to be author equals author. So they will sort out whatever it is they need internally. Author. Just say const author info equals author info equals author.node, right? Then I can come over here and say author info name. So author info.name. So let's see what that gives us. I expect something to break. If something doesn't break, then I'm a superstar. I'm a fucking superstar, man. If something doesn't break, yeah, and we have admin showing up, but the image is not showing up yet. So I'm guessing because, okay, it's the Gatsby plugin image sharp is still trying to process. Cool. I kind of need to look for a way to, what do you call it? I don't want this to be. I need to look for cases in TailwindCSS. Case, uppercase. I don't want uppercase. Okay, text transform here. I want normal case, capitalize here. That's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I need. Capitalize. It capitalizes each word. Admin. Cool stuff. So looks like all I need to do here is just add some margin to the bottom of this of 44 pixels. We should be good to go. So class name equals margin bottom of 44 pixels. Save it up and should be good. But the image is not showing up yet. We'll definitely look for a way to resolve that. And this should be a flex, right? And the items flex, and the items should be to the center. I want to vertically align them. Good stuff. Alrighty. So pending things, I need to check the article that has full content, right? Now, this content is to the right here, but I have the problem with this content being on the right because the problem with this is that we read from left to right. So the actions that the user should carry should be on the right, not on the left. So basically, or essentially what I'm going to do is, where's the stories, right? I'm going to create a new section, going to create a new section. Right. This should be content. Right. I'm going to create a new section. Then there should be an aside here. Right. This section is going to be a flex. Yeah, class name is flex. Right. So let's see what we have so far. It's not going to show anything yet. Cool. I think I like the look of this. Then should it be a flex or okay, let me see. So we can so I think a flex works. Then I'm just going to add a button here. And that button just say copy link. Right? Didn't say copy link. It's going to say copy link. So let's see what that gives us. All right, so we have this copy link button is not looking bad. Interesting. I wonder why our designer didn't use this, but it's fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say class name because this guy, then the max width of this would be 736 pixels. 86 pixels. 836 pixels. Right. Then the flex grow should be 0. I don't want it to grow. Oh shit. Class name. Oh shit. I'm using the wrong command. It should be max width. Alright, cool stuff. So now that we have this to be flex, we can now say justify between. Writing, and that gives us the layout that we are looking for. How amazing is that? Cool stuff. We're getting there. We're not there yet. So max width 738 pixels. 738 pixels. It should be 738 pixels. 738 pixels. 738 pixels. 738 pixels. Alrighty. So yeah, and obviously down here, let me see. This is down here. There needs to be some margin to the. There needs to be some margin here, about 201 pixels. So PT. So I'm just going to do PY actually. I'm just going to do PY 158 pixels. Let's do PY 158 pixels. Cool. So we have some padding now, right? Then I'm going to. Then outside of this guy, I'm going to add an HR. HR is not defined. HR should be imported from components. Yeah. Cool stuff. We're getting there. I have an issue. This line height, I don't know if I'm the only one, but it's doing something to my high, right? So I'm going to come over here and say add apply. Or I could just do line height 1.5. I think that's the standard that I've seen a lot of people use over time. Oh no, I mean it's applied to the article, not just the titles alone. Line height, I need, okay, let's make it 2. Right, cool stuff. I think this is more like it for me. Cool stuff. Alrighty, we're getting there. So I need another HR here. Right. Then I need to now add our article review lists. This is going to throw an error or not show anything. So I'm just going to pass an empty array articles because an empty array. Yeah, it's not going to show anything. Fantastic. That's totally fine by me. And what do I need again? I need this guy not to touch. Okay. I think by the time oh, it's only at the top. There's no HR at the base. Okay. So that's fine. Alrighty, that's fine. So I need to add an heading here. I'll just say text variant equals, let's say H4, then the value equals more stories, right? Save it up. Cool. So this calls for a container. This calls for a container. More stories. Perfect. Then class name. Then we need to add some margin top to this guy. We need to add some margin top. 51 pixels. Okay. 51 pixels. 51 pixels. All right, cool stuff. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to query. So we need to query posts. We need to query 3 posts to show up here, right? So, and the way to do that, we are just going to come over here, WP post, right? And we're just going to, then we are just going to say all WP posts. In fact, I'm going to copy the query inside of our featured stories because it's essentially the same thing. The only difference, I'm going to show you what the only difference is right now, is that, what do you call it? So, let me come to stories. Then I'm going to paste this guy for now. We're just going to use this guy for now. Let me see. Oh, was there an error? Let me be sure that I copied the right thing. Featured stories. Oh, shit. It looks like I should have copied from here. Stories, right? Then all the WP posts, that. Cool stuff. So now, what I can come over here now and say, the limit here would be 3, right? I want the same approach to that, featured image, excerpt, and all of that good stuff. Limit here should be 3. Then I'm going to come over here and say const featured stories equals data dot all WP posts, right? Then I'm going to say related stories equals data dot all WP posts, and this guy now would be, where's the article preview? Article preview list is related stories. Save it up, throw an error. Okay, so that's coming. Articles dot nodes dot data dot nodes. I need to, okay, yeah, boom, bang, 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 bang. From the bottom of my standing, there was nothing that you could say to me. A practical way I grew up, at least you knew the slavery. People want. Okay, yeah, cool stuff. I'm liking this already. So more stories, but of course there's a problem. The problem is that we have this person's story and she's also featured here. We don't want something like that, right? So what I'm going to do is actually, we're not going to do anything complicated right now. And what I'm going to do is very similar to what we have here. So WP post, then also we are going to have WP post slug. Okay, yeah. So then WP posts are going to have slug, right? Not equal to our slug. So query, let me see. I'm coming into something. It says on unknown arguments, slug on field query. Okay, so I'm just going to come back here. Story query, WP posts, right? This guy should have access to it, innit? Okay, let me go to all WP posts and let me see. Let me go to GraphQL rather. I closed GraphQL. What was I thinking of? Okay, so then we have all WP posts. Oh, sure. I get what's happening now. So we need to filter. It has to be a filter. We need to filter by slug. We need to filter by slug, and anything that is not equals to slug. filter by slug. Yeah. That's what I need to do on there. So looks like then to be this long. So want to get any other thing, want to get more blog posts that is not this one. So you can see now we have three blog posts that are being shown here that are not the same as this, right? But there is a little problem. That more stories looks weird. So I'm going to come over here and more stories. It looks weird at the moment here. So I'm going to remove this guy, right? I'm going to remove this guy. Let me refresh. Okay, yeah, so it jumps up. Then I'm going to say this article preview list. Then I'm going to say heading. I'm going to pass an heading to it now. Heading will now be more stories. More stories. Then I'm going to come over and say article preview lists. If there are more stories, heading. Heading. Boom. Then heading. What's happening here? Okay, yeah. So we need to wrap all of this guy in fragments. All right. So text is not defined. That's not a problem. You just need to import it. Post up. So now, heading, value equals heading. Then stories. Heading equals more stories. Why is the heading not showing up? Are you kidding me? Heading, article preview. If there's an heading, show this. Let me do a console log. Console the log of heading. That should definitely be showing up. Console. It seems not to be getting the console though. Let me see. I might have been appending this to the wrong thing though. Stories, heading, yep. So I'm quite confident that I didn't apply it to the wrong thing. So why is it not showing up? Article preview this heading, except I make a mistake in the spelling or something. Heading, value. If there's an heading, okay, let me just put a value here and say more stories. Oh, for some reason it's not showing up. Okay, let's just render this guy out. Oh shit, actually still, okay, not a problem. I think I understand what's happening. It should be inside of there, actually. Oh no. Okay, I understand what's happening. I believe I understand what's happening. Okay, let me do this. What's happening? Why is this guy not showing up? Okay. So I think it's back up here. Alrighty, yeah. So what I need now is I need to have a section here. 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 I need to have a section here, right? Then most of the margin and padding needs to go in here. This guy needs to go in here. Class name equals this guy. Okay, then I think that should do it. Then this guy can be a div. This guy can be a div. Right. Cool stuff. So now I can I can add some. Okay, this margin seems a little too much, so I'm just going to do 48 pixels. I'm going to do 36 pixels actually. I'm going to do 36 pixels actually. Oh, 36 pixels still seems like a lot. What's happening? Looks like there's another margin being added somewhere. Okay, I'm just going to leave that for now. Then I'm going to add so I'm going to add a margin button here. I'm going to call it I'm going to be what value? 40 pixels. 40 pixels, right? Save it up. Then save it up. 40 pixels. Cool stuff. Then and this guy already has. Oh shit! I was modifying the wrong thing. So this should be 120 pixels or so. All right, cool. So if there's an heading, you can go ahead and show it. Heading. Else, don't even bother. Heading. Okay. Cool stuff. Then of course I just need to add some. I need to add first name. I need to add a margin button here. Margin button of 116 pixels. 116 pixels. Let's check this guy out. Alrighty, cool. So we have the stories page almost done actually. The next thing we need to do is the CTAs, right? So for now, I'm just going to, so let me see if I can get the URL of the page. Oh no, it's not going to return. I'm not going to return the URL of the page actually. So let me just see what data I can get here. What I'm going to get, I think the most I can get here is this slug. URI. I guess that's much. The most I can get here is a slug. So I think one thing I can do is inside of WordPress. So if you've observed so far, I've had to, okay, I don't want to make so much changes right now, right? tripped off my internet and I wasn't even aware. So let me just continue to share my screen or present my screen. All right, cool stuff. I can't even remember what I was trying to do before the internet went off. Okay, I think I was trying to get the URI or something. No, that wouldn't work. So I think what I can do, so for the copy button, I think I have the copy functionality that I have somewhere on code 10. Code 10. Oh no, I need to use my personal account. I need to use my personal account. I need to use my personal account. Code 10. Okay. Next. It's been long. I had to. Okay. I think I should just check github.com/rmo/smog. Okay. Then I want to search my repositories. Then I need to search for Elementor Paystack. This is not what I'm looking for, actually. So implement a copy function in JavaScript. If you look at something like this, well, it's no, there's a cleaner way to do this. Okay. Okay. If I check Elementor Paystack, if I check the Elementor Paystack pen, yeah, I think I have somewhere I've done this before. Yep, there it is. Yeah, it is. So I just need to look for the copy document.create element, and then there is a cleaner way to do this copy functionality. Copy in JavaScript without copy. Create a copy button in JavaScript. How to copy to clipboard, exactly. That's right now I should be searching for. Copy text equals navigator.clipboard.write text. Okay. So what I need here, actually. So where is the copy button? So what I need here is copy link, right? Equals, so we need this slug, right? Then I'm going to automatically, so document, let me check that guy again. navigator.clipboard.write text, right? So for now, I'm just going to make it a slug, right? Then on click equals copy link slug, right? Good stuff. If I come back to the code and I click on this guy and I click on copy, how do I know it was copied? Let me try and paste this somewhere else. Let me try and paste, all right? So yeah, it's copied the slug. So the next thing I need to append now, I need to append the current domain. So what do you call it? Base slug equals story, right? First story, then const domain equals. So for example, when you're on otherfaces.tech, you want to be able to get the domain, right? So I'm just going to come over here and say get current domain JavaScript. Now that I know I'm actually being lazy right now, but I think navigator.get current location or document.location. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I think what I needed was just what I need. I didn't even need the slug. It's just documents dot location. So I didn't even need the slug. Just need that there had to be an easier way to make it work. Okay, so I can make this guy now. I can make this guy copy link. Copy link. So low okay chat. Copy link. Okay. Copy link and then paste it somewhere else. So it seems it's copied the wrong thing. Oh, okay, wait. What's happening? It seems like it's copying something else with it. Let's refresh again. Copy. Okay, yeah, so it works. It works. So, and that's our copy link functionality sorted. Cool stuff. So the next things we need to handle is the social media sharing, right? So we have Twitter, we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook. So first step is to download all of these icons, right? To download all of these icons. And I think I want to open this file over here just for some personal reasons. For some reasons best known to me. So Figma is taking some time to load. Figma is taking almost forever to load. I'm guessing it's my internet connectivity. And I'm wondering if I should not just go ahead and download these icons and move them manually. So export. SVG place. Email. I'm not sure email is. But let's take everything. JPEG. Not JPEG, please. SVG. SVG. Facebook. Mail. SVG as well. This is why I wanted to open Figma. Yeah. Yes, please. That's why I need to open it over here. That's why I needed to open it over here, so that I could export and rename stuff the way I wanted. Okay, so I'm waiting for this feedback to load up. Oh god. Why this is going on? Okay, I think it's loaded now. Why this is going on? I think I want to investigate why. I want to investigate why those images are not loading. SVG. Twitter. Export SVG. No. Oh wow! I have clothes outside. Rain is falling. Mad. Shirt. Oh. You have stuff outside? Huh? Oh, I'm sure. I'm the only one here, so I can say anything I want. Huh? I'm the only one on the stream now. Nobody's on the stream, so nobody will watch it up to this extent. My brother and the maybe today we don't run this thing. Nobody is watching it up to this point. So So yeah, okay. So of course I need to show the copy icon, share icons first, right? So I'm going to say share icons because this guy, right? Then okay, yeah. Share icons, right? So I'm going to say on icons because it's going to be an array actually. Icons, right? Then it's going to be we are going to have the icon, right? In this case, so the first thing is Twitter here. So we need to import Twitter icon from assets / svgs / images / svgs / twitter.svg, right? Twitter icon. Then I'm going to say icon is Twitter icon. Icon, right? For now, I'm just going to repeat this 1, 2, 3 times, right? Then I'm just going to map over it and say return. Let me just return a div, or let me return another place, right? That seems more like UL rather, then li, then icons dot map, right? Then I'm going to do structure the icon from here. I'm going to return for now. Then I'm going to put this on top of this guy, share icons. icons, right? Let's see what that gives us. I'm expecting a share button 3 times. Cool stuff. So actually it should be a button. Right? Then button. Okay. Then last name, of course flex. All right, cool stuff. Then we need, how many of that do we need? We need 4. We need 4. We need 4. We need 4 of that. We need 4 of that. So we need to get other icons. Mail icon. Mail.svg. LinkedIn icon. I just need to duplicate this 3 times, 4 times down. LinkedIn icon. Then Facebook icon. Then I'm going to do facebook.svg. LinkedIn.svg. Then I'm going to copy this guy. Then Command B, split to the right. Split to the right. Mail icon. LinkedIn icon. Facebook icon. Alrighty, looking good, isn't it? So I can come over here and say justify between. Cool stuff. Then just add a little margin to the bottom. Yeah. Right. That's 34. How can that be 34 pixels? From here to here is 34 pixels. Interesting. So MD. Most likely to be going with 32 pixels because that's the closest thing to it, right? Or let's make it MY. Then okay, no, not here. Share icons. Then text variant equals P16. Now it's pouring. The value equals just share, so I won't have to. So 26. Okay. So this is MY 26. Oh, MY6 rather. MT6 rather. Alrighty. I think I like this copy link button, but next thing I want to do is import copy icon from assets /images/svg/copy.svg. It's raining now. Looks like I need to speak louder now or something, but then I don't care. I care, like, get it to share. Copy icon. Alrighty, so last name. and last name and line block. Okay, looks like this button component doesn't accept. It accepts class name. What's happening? It accepts class name. So what's happening here? Coming. Okay, I guess I know what I would do. I know what I would do. Article stories, right? Stories. Then I'm going to come here, copy icon. So I'm going to over here and bring the button. Save it up. Okay, so items center. Okay, works out. So now I'm going to do a main width of 20 figures. Minimum width of let's say 200 figures. I think that might be a lot. That's as much. Let's do 150 figures. 100 pixels, in fact. 100 pixels seems too much. 120. Alrighty. So this guy have a ML of let's say 2. 4 or 8 maybe. Okay, yeah, go. And space between. So this guy was not necessary. This guy looks aligned to this. Oh, that's my assumption, right? I'll just do with the ML 4 or 8. Forget about this guy. Alright, quick up. So one thing I want to do is when you scroll, I want this guy to stick to the top of this guy. So of course this guy has to be relative. Then this guy, this is side. Oh shit. We need a div inside of here. We need a div inside of here. Wrap all of these guys. Yeah. Observe. I don't expect this to work for some reason. Oh, it worked. It worked. Nice. So, yep, perfect. So as you are reading, if you want to share, you can come over here and click any of the share buttons. Cool stuff. Very cool stuff. So let me do top, let's say 2. I will just add some spacing. I think top, let's say 4. Yep. So why should you use it? We have the copy link. We have the copy link functionality coded out. Right. I think on over, we just want to fade it a bit. Just set the over. The opacity should just go down to like 70%. So at least we know that something is happening. Same thing for the share icons too. Pass name over opacity should be 70. Just so that just gives an impression that something about to happen. Cool stuff. Now the next thing is to implement this share button for Twitter. This is something I've done in the past, so I'm just going to look through my GTalk gists for this. Gist. Okay, I'll be directed to do some stuff here. Yep. So this is what you need. So this is the template that you need to be able to to be able to create share buttons, right? But is this really all? I think you have to do a window.open or something. I'm coming. I need to stop sharing my screen to quickly, in order to be able to quickly confirm something. Oh, there are 2 people on this stream. Who is the second person on this stream? Thank you so much for joining. I need to quickly check something just to confirm. GitHub actually. Still GitHub. Trying to look at an old project to see the way I implemented this. Components, blog, single, shadow.js. Icons as is open. That's nice. I'll click pop-up window. So what's the pop-up window function? Okay. Alrighty. So pop-up window. Right. So share URL. So I can resume sharing my screen. So for Twitter, we have the text equals title and the URL. While for Facebook, you have the sharer, you have the URL followed by the title. For WhatsApp, it's just the text, right? For Pinterest and for LinkedIn, we have share article equals this. So the major function that we'll be using here is pop-up window, right? And it contains a link. So what I'm just going to do is share. It's going to be this is going to accept this is going to accept pop-up window, right? So this is going to accept so let me do for Twitter first, then I can begin to tweak for other ones, right? So this is going to accept so we have text, we have URL, we have title, right? So for this guy, let me see. So for this guy, the link is going to be, let me copy this guy. The link is going to be, it's going to be this guy, right? Now we have the, where's the copy link? Come on. So URL, we need the URL. Where's the copy link? So URL equals URL equals no. No, I mixed it up. Is okay, yeah, the URL comes with that. So const URL equals document.location, right? Then document the location. So now, so I need this guy. I need to copy this guy actually. Text. Most likely. Title is this is most likely going to text is the title of this post, right? Then and URL equals URL, right? So for this guy we need just the title, right? So for each of these guys, so for each of these share buttons, for each of the share icons rather, we now have share, right? So on click equals share into brackets. So we can try and get the title. You can try and get the title into here and the excerpt at the very least. So so where are the share icons? Where did I put share icons? Okay. So title equals title. Right, so it means I can get title here. Title. Right? Sure. So for now, let me just use the same thing for them all. And let's see what that gives us. I need to make this very much function. Good. So let me go here. Good. So URL equals undefined. So the question is, how is this guy able to copy the URL? So I think I can. Oh, shirts.location. Right. Share. Cool stuff. That worked pretty well. Easier than I thought, actually. Sharer, EU, so yeah. Oh, that's Facebook, yeah. U equals URL, right? Then don't understand. It says here that why is the title into bracket? Okay, and P Facebook and P first P equals title. So let's check Facebook now. on P I2. Facebook is problematic. We'll come back to it. Then WhatsApp. Oh, no, okay. WhatsApp is not part of our use case. LinkedIn. Should be HTTPS. URL. I2. So let's check LinkedIn. I'm not expecting any errors from LinkedIn, by the way. Something went wrong. Interesting. URL. Okay. I guess I'll just come back and deal with these guys maybe some later on or something. Right. Mail icon. Is there a mail? I'm not sure I've done mail to with JavaScript before. Email. Okay. Oh, I see. I'm coming. Href refers to sky. This is a button. This is a button for mail. It is it's a button. It's a button. Mail to. Okay. I think for the mail we can make an exception, right? Okay. I guess I'll probably look for a way to deal with that later, but let me see. LinkedIn. Do we have LinkedIn here? WhatsApp. I want to say if the problem is universal. LinkedIn. Yeah, this is. Href first. Ash. So okay, so what if I do let's try. Leave it as true. Simply just return. If this link is equals to true, I simply just return mail to. it's not link, it's link, right? So if it is not a link, it's not a link. Hide and share, else null. If it's link, share it to return, else return. If it's a link, yep. So let's see what that gives us. So so let's make it an anchor tag. Oh, okay, yeah, not okay. So, yeah. Alrighty. Cool stuff. So the mail works. The mail works. Twitter works. Oh shit, I'm supposed to be in a meeting right now. Twitter works. Mail works. LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn is going to Twitter. Are you kidding me? LinkedIn. LinkedIn going to Twitter. There has to be a bug somewhere. It's LinkedIn. Okay, yeah. I need to look for the share URL for LinkedIn and Facebook, right? But I think for the most part, we're kind of done. Just a couple of things left, I guess, in terms of wrap up, the mobile responsiveness of this and all. Good and fantastic progress so far. So feeds are source data from WordPress. Create stories page. Alrighty, let's push this up and we'll see you next weekend at another project. Cheers, and don't forget to build like a boss that you are, man. End broadcast, man.